that I haven't wrote on the board because I'm just dragging, children. All right, we are going to write our learning target down at the top. Today's learning target, and this is probably going to be a level 3, just to let you know. So level 1 is DOK levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. We talked about this last year and some already this year. So level 1, and they're on the back and on the closet over there. Level 1 is your basic recall skills. Level 2 is a skill or concept that we're learning again. Level 3 is strategic thinking, and level 4 is extended thinking. So I hope by the end of the year I get you to level 3. That's our goal. Please learn how to strategically think.
Do you have a Band-Aid?
Yes, it's in the toolbox and it says Band-Aids. Alright, so our learning target for today says I can create a, do you need me to zoom in? I am one of those blind people, so we're not going to judge. I just wear contacts. I can create a system of equations from a word problem and find the solutions. Now, the way you figure out what depth of knowledge our learning target is on is you look at the words and you see where the words are on the wheel. Create is a level 3. Does everybody understand? So we're going to strategically think, which means you're going to have to use your brain. Heaven help us. We can do this. I have all the faith in y'all. You ready? Pardon? Your face be broke.
Your face gonna be broke.
Keep talking to me like that. Hate crime. Bites you.
Hey, what's an example to add on our email?
A violent.
We're not having that. Adam doesn't need that in his life.
Okay, so let's look at. Oh, you still have to write this down. Can you come on? Ninja fast. While we are waiting on Austin, please read the first word problem. Yes. Or someone read it out loud to your group, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want you to start on it yet. I just want you to read it.
No.
Okay. So, your teacher, me, is giving you a test worth 100 points with 40 questions. There are 2-point and 4-point questions on the test. How many of each type of question are on the test?
Too many? 20.
You think there's 20?
Yeah, that's cut in half. No.
Well, so if we used, Troy, I like where you're going with that. If we said 20, 2 times 20 is what?
40.
2 times 20 is 40,
No.
and 4 times 20 is 80.
Yeah.
So 40 plus 80 is not 100, right?
No.
Okay.
No, it's 3.
Now let's think of what I just did. How many questions total are on our test? And we have 2 different kinds, right? So we're going to let X be our 2-point and Y be our 4-point. Do we agree or disagree so far? Now, I have 40 total questions. That means both of those together, x and y together, makes 40. So when I say together in math, what operation is that? So we would say x plus y equals 40. Now remember, we're trying to create a system. So we're trying to create two equations so that we can solve it in the methods that we've been doing. Now, how many points total is our test? 100 points, okay? So let's write equals 100. Now, what do we know about the questions?
Like 2 points or 4 points.
There are 2 points and 4 points. Now, do we have a specific way to name the 2 points? What did we say we're going to call x, right? And what about 4 points? So, let me think of the way I want to ask this question. How would you figure out your points on the test?
Adam.
You would multiply what? You would multiply 2 times the number of 2 point you got, correct?
Yeah.
And then what would you do from there? We have another type of problem, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 40.
And what would you do with the 4 points? Multiply it by the ones you got right. So we would say 2x plus 4y equals 100. Does everybody see where I got that from?
See.
Yeah.
So we started, let's walk through it again just to make sure. We started by saying that x was going to be our 2 point questions and y was going to be our 4 point. We know that we have 40 total questions. So we said x plus y equals 40. And then we said that our test was 100 points and we had 2 point questions and 4 point questions. So we would say 2 times x plus 4 times y equals 100. Because that gets us our total points, right? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, now we can solve this by graphing, substitution, or elimination. What method do you guys want to use?
Elimination.
Okay. Do we want to eliminate x or y?
X.
Okay, if we eliminate x, what do we have to do to that first equation?
Multiply by 2.
Look at us go. Take a point, children.
Everyone?
Everyone who answered multiply by 2. Alright, so that means that I'm going to distribute this 2 to everywhere, correct?
Yeah.
And that gives me 2x plus 2y equals 80. And what do I do with the orange equation?
You just bring it down.
Mm-hmm. Now, same sign,
Subtract.
subtract. So 2 minus 2 cancels. 2y minus 4y. Yep. Take a point. 80 minus 100. Awesome. And what would humana. What would I do from here? And y equals? Take a point.
Also, that's our 2 points back.
Yeah, we
Don't. Alright, now, if I have 10 4-point questions, how many 2-point questions do I see you? And I will take off all 5. If I have 10 4-point questions, how many 2-point questions can I have?
30.
Why?
Because there's 40 questions.
There's 40 total. And 40 minus 10 is? So we have to plug that back in. We say x plus 10 equals 40. Subtract 10 from both sides. X equals 30.
You have to do like
So you got 30
Because
plus
this
10
figure out
of 4 points.
The point of what we're doing is to create a system. That's our learning target, right? To be able to create one. So I want you to show me that you can create one. Once you can show me that you can create one, I'll let you do it another way. But right now, I want you to prove to me that you can create it. Does anybody have any questions? I know that was a lot to take in to begin with. Are you ready to try another one together? We'll do 2 more together, then you're going to try some on your own. How about that?
I don't want to do that.
I'm sorry about your life. You want to be me. That means you need to be able to do math.
They said that I want
And get national board certified.
Yep. Boom. All right. Are we ready?
It's going to happen one day.
No. Let's look at this one. Suppose a model airplane club publishes a newsletter. Expenses are 90 cents per printing and mailing each copy, plus $600 total for research and writing. The price of the newsletter is $1.50 per copy. How many copies of the newsletter must the club sell to break even? Ooh, that's a lot of stuff, isn't it? Okay. So, what do we know to begin with? What are our expenses?
Total 600.
90 cents and then the price of each newsletter. The price of each newsletter is $1.50 per copy, correct?
Yes.
How many copies must they sell to break even?
80.
Well, we need to figure out the total, correct? What do we need to set up in orange first for our total? Bronson?
0.90 plus 600 equals $1.
You got the first part right. Equals what?
$1.
Equals... It doesn't equal $1.50, does it?
Oh, perfect.
It equals our total expense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So could we say T for total?
Yes.
Now what could we do?
You subtract
No, we need another equation. What's our yellow?
the price of the newsletter.
So 1.50 times X. And that gives us what?
Plus
So what do you think we can do? Think about it. Talk about it in your group. Actually talk to each other and think about what it's asking you. Put your seat down, or that's another point.
gosh.
Hey, she said if I don't do it.
You need to be talking about the problem. Think about what it's asking you.
Oh, I know what to do.
Talk to your group. Bronson, you were really close with what you were telling me to begin with. If that helps. Talk to your group. What does it mean when something says break even?
It's gotta be like equals. No,
When they
like.
equal, right?
Yeah.
So
So we have to equal the expenses and the income.
we have to equal the expenses and the income.
So why don't we do 150?
We have to equal. What does that mean? If I said we have to equal them, what would you do?
Divide by 2.
Equal, guys. What does the word equal mean?
Even.
Oh, even.
Set them equal.
Oh, shoot.
But you didn't.
Man.
I was trying. All right, so we're trying to break even, correct? And break even means when your expenses equals your income. Normally we want to make a profit, right? We want to get more in than we put out. But if we're trying to break even, what would we do here? Kind of. But we would subtract 0.90. It's not that you want it to equal 0, it's that you want your books to balance. Alright, so if I subtract 0.90 from both sides, what's left over?
600 equals.
And what's 1.50 minus 0.90?
I had it all. Uh, 0.6.
And what would we do from here?
You divide by 0.6.
Divide by 0.60. And what does x equal?
18.
No.
No.
Oh, I have a question. Since you put 0.60, can't you just put 0.6? You don't need that 0.
1,000. Down.
So how many copies must they sell to break even?
1,000.
1,000.
Oh, I see.
How do you feel so far? Yes.
Alright, not trying to be a smart aleck, but how would it break up us later on?
If you own your own business and you need to figure out what you need to do to break even, you make a system of equations.
You might be
You don't have a grass cutting business and you gotta buy a lawnmower and you gotta buy gas for that lawnmower. You gotta put gas in the gallon, how many yards you gotta cut before you start making money.
Yup.
Don't you get bankrupt, bro?
Yes, it is real well.
Don't you what?
Yeah,
Don't you get
a lot.
what right off the bat?
A lot.
You got costs, and it just went up again.
It used to be like $4.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, are you ready to do another one? Uno más together, and then tarea. All right, here we go. A chemist has one solution. Oh, this is a good one.
You didn't even finish it.
I know, but I love these with percentages. All right, so we have a chemist, all right? And they are mixing things, and they have one solution that is 50% acid. That means that half of it is acid, correct? All right, she has another solution that is 25% acid. That means that a quarter of it. I'm teaching. Do not interrupt again, either of you.
My bad.
Alright, so she has another solution that is a quarter. How many liters of each type of acid should she combine to get 10 liters of a 40% solution? That's a lot of chaos, isn't it? Alright, what are we starting with? Tell me what it says to begin with. 50 of what?
Acid.
50% acid. So what would we do with that? Tell me what she's doing with it. She's adding it together? How?
But she has another.
How would we add that together?
You add it.
How?
50 plus 25.
You put 50x
Plus.
45 on water.
Alright, so 0.50x, because it's percent, plus 0.25y equals what?
Equals 40%.
So we're trying to get our 40%.
Yeah.
Okay? Then what are we doing?
You,
What are we doing with these two? How much are we trying to get total?
10.
10. So we would take what? We already have our x, we already have our y, so what would we do with them now?
10.
We need a second equation. Tell me how to write it.
10 x equals 10.
We need 10 total liters, correct? All right, let's talk about how we found that again. We started with one solution that is 50%, and that's our X. Another solution is 25%, that's our Y. And then we need to get a 40%. So that's how we got our first blue equation. We also know that we need 10 liters of it, correct? So that's where we got our second equation. Do you guys want to, we do want to use elimination, correct? Because they're already stepped on,
Stack correct.
thank you, take a point. Do we want to eliminate X or Y?
Y. X.
Okay, now are we going to multiply the top equation or the bottom equation? And what are we going to multiply that bottom equation by? 0.50, 0.5. Look at you guys go. Y'all are on it. Alright, so that's going to give me 0.50x plus 0.50y equals, what's 10 times 0.50? 5, because it's just half, right? Take a point over there, Hufflepuff. And then what am I going to do with this top equation?
You move it over.
Take a point.
Take a point.
Hey, let's not say it so aggressively. Thanks. Alright, are we going to subtract or are we going to add?
We're going to
Subtract.
Because they have the...
Same sign.
Alright, 0.50x minus 0.50x equals...
0.
Cancels. 0.25y minus 0.50y is...
0.2. Negative. Negative.
Thank you, Troy. Take a point.
Good job, Troy.
And 0.40 minus 5 is...
Negative right.
We got calculators. We got calculators. It's not, we're subtracting.
Oh, never mind.
You've got calculators.
If you subtract the
Jackson! Both of you take a point. And now what do we do? DVD. And
It just sounded like you said DVD.
and what's it going to be?
Divided by what?
Sweet potatoes. Use your calculator instead of just sitting there waiting for somebody else.
Negative 18.6.
Positive.
Yeah, positive.
Positive what?
18.4.
What is it? We're saying different things.
You just said 6, and then there's...
That's 18.4.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, y'all are... I don't see how...
6 divided by 0.25 is negative 18.
0.4. Okay, so my next question to you is this. Let me think of how I'm going to say this. Right, this is more than this, correct? So we've done something wrong. We can't have more of one than our total. Stop that. So we've done something wrong. We need to correct our mistake somewhere. So let's go back and look at this. Yes. That's what I'm very confused on. When we divided, y'all told me 18.4, and I'm really not sure. Okay, so we did 4.6 divided by 0.25, and that's 18.4, but something is wrong.
But we divide by negative 2.5.
Yeah, baby. That's what... 0.4 minus 5. Something is off in our handy-dandy calculations.
Somebody did wrong.
Okay, 0.25. minus 0.5 is negative 0.25.
But we did it right. All of our stuff matches, but this is off.
Let me read the question.
Okay. How many liters of each type of solution for 10 liters of a 40% acid?
Okay, so you need 18.4 out of the live one.
But we can't because we can't have, yes. This one?
Yeah, because 150 times 1 is 0.5.
It's 0.50.
That's what I have.
10.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
0.5, right?
It would be 0.5 and
The same thing. Yeah, it's okay to add that 0 back there.
If you took it out, it'd be the same.
Yeah. And then that's right. So something.
yeah, that's fine.
But it's time to go.
Okay,
Give me some lunch.
I need us to finish. I want you to do this one tonight. This next one. And I'm going to look at this problem. Suppose you bought supplies for a party. This is your homework.
Wait, this says that maybe 18.4 is in ounces, and we need to figure out how many ounces make a liter in, numbers.